Hey everyone, it's me, Gav, and before I go on a bit of a vacation, just for about 2 weeks in a few days, I wanted to share what I've been working on just to show you guys that I haven't been sitting on my ass. Sometimes I get a little bit insecure about that, especially when it takes so long to make some things. So, yeah, I've been working on a video game. I posted about it before, and I think I posted like a tiny video of me showing what I've been working on Unity a while back, but I kind of canned that project because it was bigger and more ambitious than what I really wanted to make at the time, especially since that would have been my first ever game. And instead I pivoted to something else, which also grew and grew, but it did so in a way where I feel more confident in actually continuing the project instead of making something that's too big for its own good for where I'm at. So yeah, I'm making a video game. It's going to be called Castle Sinforel, and it is going to take place in my fantasy universe that I kind of poked at and teased throughout this channel's entire lifetime, really. But I made some solid lore and more stuff like that, and for this game I've also been programming it myself. I've been making concept art for it, and some of the assets on screen. I have a friend that is working on music with it, so a lot's going into this, and it's going to be a while before it's finished, but I also wanted to just share what I have so far. It's very simple, and what is playable is very short and, like I said, simple. I'm not working with a script here, so I'm not exactly being elegant, but it took a lot to get here, and what I'm doing is basically laying out the foundation of how the game will play and what it will feel like before I start pushing into more ambitious territory with boss fights and enemy AI and level design and stuff like that. So basically I just want to make sure all of the basic gameplay elements are in the game before I pivot it right on over to actually fleshing out and making the game part of the game. Basically, building the foundation of the house before I build the walls and all the rooms and stuff. So I have a little bit of footage from what I have so far, and let's talk about that. So what you're seeing is pretty simple. A lot of it's just placeholder, obviously, except for the UI. I just finished making that, though of course I might tweak it in the future, but as you can see, you can move around, you jump. It's going to feel very fast-paced and more arcadey, I guess, rather than going for like a realism slow feel. But yeah, you can move around, you can jump, and I just want it to feel like a very fast-paced first-person action game. So moving on, I'm recording this after the fact. As you can see here with the UI, of course I have the health programmed in, and you can watch it deplete all the way to 0, and with each, or like, once you hit a certain threshold of your health, you'll see that the little frame there changes. And then you can see I use a jump pad that I programmed in that plays a little sound, and when you take a potion, you'll heal up. Obviously in the final game, you won't be able to hit 0 health and then grab a potion to revive yourself, you'll just be dead. And over there, I fucked up the jump there, but over there you have armor, and armor itself is basically just a threshold that enemies do damage to before it hurts you. Over here is a green door, but it's locked, can't go through it yet. Not until I go up the stairs and I pick up the placeholder green key. So I grab that, but enemies spawn. These are placeholder enemies. They do absolutely nothing, they don't even hurt me, they just chase the player around and they are limited to the floor. I was just making sure I got like AI navigation right. I can kill them, they spit out very rudimentary blood, and I have a dash attack. The dash attack is just a basic attack that in the final game will be on a cooldown. You press shift and you just go flying forward and you hurt anything in your way. Since I had the green key, the door opened there, and here's a little platforming bit. You fuck it up, you get hurt. But you don't die. I wanted to make sure that the player doesn't just die if they fall off like a platforming section, because that's frustrating. I'm going to lower my health here, just so that I can demonstrate that when you kill enemies at very low health, they'll start dropping health potions. This is to encourage the player to stay in the fight and to keep them aggressive rather than feeling the need to just retreat and be afraid of staying fighting pretty much. So yep, I wanted to give you a better look right there with the enemies dropping potions when they died. And then over there's just the portal and the red key. You jump right in the portal, and that's pretty much that. You might have seen that white floating cube, and right here is basically the game's upgrade system that I will flesh out much more as development goes on. And as you play the game, you'll find little secret areas where occasionally you'll find insight coins. I have concept art of it on the screen right now, where you pick up this coin and you'll hear exposition. Like a memory from the world. Canonically, it's beamed into your head, and it will give you more lore and events and basically show what happened exactly in this world and how it got to the point where you start off in. You don't have to go for these, but the game will be significantly harder later if you're still at the base health and armor, so very recommended you kind of go out your way to explore, and it kind of packages in both finding upgrade tokens as well as getting lore. Just having that bundled into one, I think, will help players actually engage with the levels and the world rather than just feeling like they can ignore one or the other. I mean, you can ignore it, but having them tied together will make them feel like they're working in tandem, and as a result, it will keep the player engaged. So, just as like example dialogue, I ended up voicing this. You are now listening to a lore entry. This is lore. This is exposition. I sure hopes that the penis gnome does not steals my penis. Oh god, no! It stole it! So yeah, that's the very insightful lore that you get for now. And of course, since I have a coin, I can click upgrade HP, and it spends the coin, and now I have 125. Those will be permanent, it won't be temporary, so that you can just spend them however you want, and they'll get more and more expensive but ambitious as the game goes on. I plan on there for upgrades being for health, armor, and combat, because I'm contemplating like which parts of combat will have the big upgrade parts, like attack speed, or maybe attack range, stuff like that. And if you see those two little orbs down there, those are cooldown meters pretty much. In the concept, or not the concept art, but the UI art that I'm showing on screen now, they're filled. That's what they'll look like, and then the left represents the dash attack with the wind, and then the right is going to be like a fireball. Other than that, just talking about the main character, this concept art right here is not finished yet because I want to add her sword. Her name is Fiona, and the premise is that it takes place, of course, in my fantasy setting where this character, she's a bit of a rogue and a troublemaker, and she's been thrown into prison for generally just stealing and causing trouble and getting into fights and all that fun rogue stuff. But one day, while she's serving her sentence, she looks outside and sees that her kingdom has been completely overrun with zombies and vampires, and lots of bad stuff is happening and people are retreating en masse. And she is stuck in prison for, this is subject to change, 2 weeks, until she eventually manages to break free, and she sets off to go find her mother, and it takes her on a very perilous journey full of undead monsters and different boss fights that I already have some kind of written down and I'm making art for them, but it's going to be fun. I want the game to be voice acted, and I won't give any information on that yet, but in the future, that will likely be a thing, so just keep an eye out for that. And of course, in the final game, the upgrade shop isn't going to be a white floating cube, but will instead be a goblin character. Her name is Kelly, and she's very mysterious and aloof, but she basically just offers you the upgrade potions in exchange for the insight coins. You'll maybe find out her connection to those coins later on, but overall, she seems to be a friend and you'll take all the help that you can get. A lot of time has gone into basically making this, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm honestly very proud of the fact that everything I'm programming is slowly coalescing into just a playable thing. Obviously, this is a very short slice, like not even 2 minutes before the average person will complete it. But once I have that foundation there, like I said, it'll blossom from there, and then I can start designing levels with everything I have in mind. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that you will all see me there. And once I have like playable demos and builds up, I might consider putting them on Patreon. If you want to playtest, though that I should say, that's not an early access thing. That's mainly going to be for playtesting. So I'll probably also have a link to it for reporting bugs and all that fun stuff, so that I can make the game better and more bug-free as things go on. But I'm planning a lot, and I'm working on a lot, and it's been so fun so far. I cannot reiterate it. Like, just seeing it work after so much coding is amazing. And all I have to say is that if you're a person who has a story or a video game or anything like that in mind, but you're afraid to just build something, start it. Just start it. Maybe start simple, but start it somehow. Right here, I'll show a picture on the screen right now. This is what my game's like health bar and armor bar and whatnot used to look like. You can make it pretty later, but right now, just make it exist, because so many people have stories and ideas worth telling that never get told because they're not sure that they can do it, when I guarantee you can. And I feel like that's something I've learned from this. Of course, I'm also still working on Starline 3 and Mind Flayer 2. Mind Flayer 2, I'm not sure if I mentioned before, it's in a bit of a slowdown because my friend is going through a lot in life. I won't get into the personal details, of course, but there's a lot happening, and I want to make sure that they have the space to work through everything going on and record once everyone's in a comfortable position. And Starline 3 is, of course, moving a little slow, but chugging along. I have plans for it, and I want to see if I can get an episode out before I go on vacation on the 26th. But other than that, it's basically everything for now. Thank you for watching and indulging my nerdery, if that's a word. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I'll see you guys later. Keep on keeping on. Mwah.